Welcome back to The Dial,
Yes, sir.
also known as The Dial Podcast, formerly known as Mindset Mastery Podcast. We decided to do a little rebrand, so let us know what you guys think of that.
Yeah. Mindset Mastery was the name before, like you said. That was a good name, but we thought that the dial was kind of a cool name, and it kind of encompasses like everything in life, not necessarily just to do with your mindset. So definitely got inspiration from Sush. He uses that word all the time. So, but yeah, this is the new name, the dial.
Yeah, so the next chapter of our life, we're pretty much, we've literally been saying dial in for, months. We literally say that all the time. It's just a good motto to, make you, it's basically just, lock in or focus or whatever. But you can apply it to pretty much anything, and it's just kind of funny to say it. So we think it's a good, easily brandable name. So we're going to be coming out with a lot of different content surrounding that premise, which we'll go into, a little bit later.
Up and coming.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Another huge change is that we are live in Tampa, Florida right now, which is new for the combination of the both of us. So you want to go into a little bit of how we got here?
Yeah, so about a week ago, we made the trip from Colorado. I was living there pretty much since I left college, just been living at home. Dawson's been here in Tampa, working on his business, figuring everything out. And when we were in Mexico, which is the last pod you guys saw us in, we actually kind of decided, we got to do this. We got to just send it and jump on it. So we manifested this moment, and we are now here, like you said, in Tampa, in an apartment, nice apartment. We're getting everything furnished right now. So it's a pretty good vibe so far. So we just got to really dial in and focus on work for the next month and just, really get ourselves set up good financially so that we can continue to do a ton of content.
Yeah, it's definitely a super exciting time of life. Like we kind of talked about before, it was about a year ago that we were making the plan, we wanted to move somewhere together. Weren't quite sure where. I ended up kind of jumping the gun myself and moving to Florida. Anyways, we were apart, and that made it hard to make content together, etc. But we're finally in the spot where we get back to doing it. But as far as the move goes, I want to talk a little bit about the drive down, the road trip that we had to take. So do you want to kind of start off with going into that?
Yeah, so like I was saying, about a week ago, we left from Colorado. Dawson flew to Colorado, hung out with his family for 4 or 5 days, something like that, and then loaded up all my stuff, which was a lot of stuff. So, yeah, the drive would have sucked by myself. So thank you for coming out and helping me, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if I officially ever said it, but
well, it was a good it was fun too when you do it with your bro, and also we got to talk a little bit about just life up and coming, and kind of our goals and intentions for living together and what we want to gain from it.
Yeah, it was kind of like the incubation period for the dial, bro. It was literally we're driving. It's just the anticipation is building up. We got to stay with Luke and Ethan. Shout out them. Got to talk to them a little bit about business stuff, which I think that I definitely took a little bit of inspiration from hanging out with them too. So
yeah, no, it was awesome to get to meet them and appreciate the hospitality. They're watching. That was nice of them.
So that took about 3 days, 27 hours plus stops. So total time on the road is probably 30 hours. So it was definitely good. But yeah, talked about a lot, got focused, and then the past week we've literally just been either working, furnishing the apartment. We haven't done much fun stuff, I guess you could say, but that's really what this first month is. We've talked about it for the past couple months. We really want to work on this first month and making it the best month financially for both of us so that we can set ourselves up super well for the next 11 months that we're going to be here.
Yeah, we're here to dial in.
Yeah.
That's why we're calling it this. So that's why before we even got a couch, we had the ice bath. We had the ice bath the day we moved in.
Yeah, so we ordered literally the entire Amazon fulfillment center before we left from Colorado, and then we showed up in Dawson's old house. We literally had 12 packages the first day, so we hauled those over.
More than that, but
in addition to all of my stuff and all of his stuff that we were moving into the apartment. But we're pretty much settled. We still got some things to figure out, we got to get bed frames and stuff, but the apartment is doing pretty well so far. And yeah, the ice bath has been good. We can't get it super cold because we don't have a chiller, but that's something we'll definitely figure out
Eventually
in the near
down
future.
the road. Just got to use ice every time now. We've been getting it to around like 60 degrees, which like isn't optimal for like all of like the benefits that you can really get from ice baths. But like you said the other day that I noted, you know, it is good just to have something still that's like really hard to do in the morning, you know, because you kind of overcome that and just ready to. I mean, everything else you do in a day is most likely easier than getting in a tub of freezing water. So.
Yeah, and it's also nice, like, first thing when we wake up, we have literally just been either going on a run together or just doing a walk outside. Like, we have a super nice lake in the middle of our apartment complex with, like, good views. So we've been literally waking up at, like, 7 or 8 a.m. every single day, which is new for me because I, like, sleep in and stuff. It's just not the best habits. But now I've been dialed in, waking up earlier.
Yeah, you've been dialed with the sleeping, bro. I've actually been really impressed.
Yeah, so been waking up early and then working out. So I'm starting my track stuff and lifting. And then you've either been running, walking, or lifting like every single morning pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I guess really this week, been kind of trying to figure out like what's the optimal routine for both of us. Too.
yeah.
And you're getting back into your track stuff now, too. I don't know if
Yeah.
you want to talk at all about that, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely maybe in a future episode. I also got my own YouTube channel, Will Bergman Track, and Instagram where I'll be posting updates on that.
Sir.
So yeah. Won't talk
Keep a
about
lookout.
Won't talk about that too much here, but I'll be doing content on there as well over the next season.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love the apartment so far, though. It feels like everything that we kind of wanted from it, you know, because we were like so set on like the intentions that we had for it. Like we're really making that happen. You know, we're not here to slack off or anything. We had, you know, big goals for like this move together. Not that we can't have fun or anything, but we want to really elevate both of our lives. And it's really just this apartment is supposed to be conducive towards that. Every day when you're in here, it's supposed to be conducive towards being healthier in one shape or another.
Yeah, we're pretty much just trying to cultivate like the best possible environment to succeed, basically, which is already like we've literally said it to each other just hanging out. Like it literally never gets old. We just say like being around each other is literally going to be the biggest key to our success because last summer when we were doing podcasts frequently or just like going to a coffee shop to do work, we were literally getting like a ton of progress made both on ourselves and like financially, business wise and stuff like that. So a full like 11 months living together, as long as we don't end up like killing each other, we'll be good.
Yeah, and it definitely is hard to live with roommates. I've had experience, but we definitely kind of set some boundaries, talk to each other, you know, spoke about how we need to have, you know, good communication moving forward, you know, that way we try to avoid any unnecessary arguments, stuff like that. But
yeah, for sure. But I think the good thing is that we both like hold each other to a high standard. So like we'll call out like bullshit on each other and like we don't take offense to it. Like we can have an argument and literally just be fine like 2 seconds because at the end of the day we're both like trying to dial in as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely gotta show like the apartment, give a little apartment tour on the channel, and then probably like the complex, the pool, and everything. Because not gonna lie, it's pretty fire.
Yeah, it is pretty dialed, honestly. It's literally the dial complex, bro. But yeah, what I was literally gonna just say before you said that was we should talk a little bit about that we wanted to do a separate YouTube channel for the dial, but we might as well just put it on this channel because it's going to be the same audience for one, and for two, we're going to keep all of our videos probably between like the 10 to 30 minute range. Maybe some pods will go closer to like 45 minutes or an hour, but we're trying to keep everything at a good like length of video so that the content is interesting but also like not too much.
Yeah. So yeah, I think most of that made sense. If you guys like didn't understand the first part, we want to start making normal YouTube videos together as well on top of the pod.
Yeah.
We think it's just something that could be super fun, and I mean, kind of like we've been talking about. I personally think the dynamic between both of us is pretty interesting, and I think you guys would like seeing those videos as well. So if you would, definitely like let us know because it's good to have that feedback.
Yeah. So like for example, one of the videos maybe would be us showing through the apartment and what each thing we have in here is utilized for and like how we optimize our environment for like work and success or something like that. Another thing could just be talking about like the strategies we use in business, just kind of like some things about our routines, etc. Behind the scenes of doing the pod, other content. Like we have a lot of things, a lot of ideas in the works. So we'll see what routes we end up going after. But like the next month is kind of just going to be experimenting with a bunch of different content. So we're open to suggestions, and we'll see like what does the best based on what we try, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. If it isn't obvious, kind of with what we're talking about right now, we're stepping up our content game. We think we're also going to kind of come up with a kind of satire-ish TikTok account. We think that could be really fun. Kind of talking about stuff like we talk about on here, the dial, but in a satirical way.
Yeah. So it would pretty much just be like the opposite of the dial. So literally just like taking things from the dial, making fun of it, because sometimes that's just what people want to see. Like people just want to see dumb content, and it could be funny. So that's more of like a less serious thing that we want to do. Like we literally just want to do that to like have fun with it. But who knows, if it does well, then we'll continue to do it. But
for sure,
just one of our fun ideas that we've been talking about. And then we're also going to be doing separate content for each of our like businesses. So whether that be like paid content by brands, stuff like that, or you like marketing content for your business and stuff like that. So literally just, it's pretty much going to be a content house and a business house and self-improvement pod. So that's pretty much how it's going to be. It's going to be saying dialed by default, like literally just based on what we're doing.
Yeah, it's cracked.
Except for after 9 p.m. Then we can chill.
Yeah.
Or maybe like 8. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
maybe like 12.
Hey, yo.
Do you want to go into a little bit about just kind of like solo, what you're doing right now, what you're working towards, your businesses and stuff?
Yeah, so I've kind of been in maintenance mode for the past like few months, to be honest, because my track season was in full effect, as well as I was coaching a few people on the side. I had a private coach for track, and then at the same time I was coaching in person at my former high school, Lewis Palmer. So I was coaching the high school team, all the sprinters, and they did super well. So that was a good experience, but that took up about 3 months and like 20 hours a week, because there was a meet like every Saturday all day, sometimes 2 meets per week, and then like practice every day, obviously. And I was like programming outside of that. And then I have like private clients that I coach as well for lifting and hybrid training. And then I was maintaining the clients I already have for the digital marketing business. So that's going well. But I'm trying to go above and beyond for the clients I already have in this period, like this next period, go above and beyond for the clients I already had, to hopefully try and increase that revenue, like the recurring revenue I have from those clients already, as well as find and reach out to a ton of leads in this new area, because literally moving here is just basically a new opportunity and a new market for me to like explore. And Tampa, there's thousands of businesses I can connect with. So I'm kind of starting local, and then I'll expand out as I go and run out of leads essentially, but I don't think I'll ever run out of leads, to be honest.
Yeah.
So as much work as I want to put in, I think I can get out of it. It just might take a little bit to get it really started and find like what workflow works the best and how to divvy up my time between like reaching out to people, working on clients I already have, and then working on content to like market myself or market my business and stuff like that. So the first month, it's going to be a trial period, but like you've already helped me just get on the phone, just start talking to people, and I literally already have like hot leads, and we're going to do some content shoots for businesses literally this week. We already have 2 booked, so business has been going well. So hopefully it starts to boom in the next few months, and then that crypto is going to hit right after the business is hitting, and then it's just to the moon from there pretty much. The dial house is going to be crazy. And then what do you have going on with your business? What's your plan for the next month and then beyond?
Yeah. So I guess like a little backstory. I'd already been living in Tampa, I think about like 9 months now. Things definitely didn't go to plan, the plan that I had originally. But life's like that, you have ups and downs. Definitely went through a really hard time, kind of just rediscovering myself and what I want to do, and just, I don't know, sometimes you need those like periods in life where you kind of hit rock bottom, because it's kind of where you go through a lot of self-discovery. but I feel like I'm kind of, I have been at the bottom, and I'm at that point where I'm finally coming out of it. And obviously being in this conducive environment is really helpful as well. I am still working on Haley Home Services, which is my handyman home remodel company. It's definitely it's what makes me the most money right now, like we've talked about. And it's just a great skill I have, a great opportunity to make money. So with the situation I'm in right now, I have to keep hammering that, and I'm gonna continue to focus to grow on it because it makes a lot of money, and I don't have a lot of other income generators. But I think what I've been kind of struggling with the past year is like knowing I don't want to do this long term. And when you have that feeling, it's really hard to like put more effort into it when you don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Because it kind of feels useless. So anyways, I was kind of jumping into other things kind of too soon without already having that income there. But I'm kind of just trying to figure out really what I want to do. I'm excited to get back to the grind of content because that's something I really enjoyed and took a break from. So I'm excited to get back to the content. I'm working with a brand right now doing content for them. So I've been working on a few different like UGC stuff. I got a couple deals. But that's kind of like another thing that like, I don't know. I feel like it's not going to be like super long term. I don't know. I feel like right now, I mean, I definitely want to eventually, like I've talked about, start like a e-commerce brand again. Because that's honestly like where like my real passion is. That's what I love doing. But it also takes a lot of effort, a lot of mental energy, a lot of initial capital most of the time. And it's kind of like, I feel like I'm focusing on getting my life back right now. And I don't have that time, energy, capital to put into starting something like that again. So I'm kind of working on just building my life until I'm at a point where I can put in enough time into that specifically. But yeah, really just want to get, other than that, kind of with the Haley Home Services, just working on content, involving digital products within that content, just different stuff like that, figuring life out.
Yeah, I feel like the points that we came from was you were kind of in a rut, not knowing like what direction to go in, and you still maybe don't have the most concrete idea of like exactly what's going to be the thing, like the it thing that like changes everything for you. Like you don't have a perfectly clear vision of what that is yet, but I feel like living in the house, living in the apartment, we both have like plans to be inputting as much effort as possible to something every day. And if you never miss a day of like going after opportunity, then eventually like something's going to hit. So I think the place where I was kind of like at a flat line, or just like not burnt out, I guess, because I haven't put like years and years into business, so I don't even think I could be like burnt out. But I was kind of just accumulating all this knowledge, like learning all this information about business strategies, like thinking about it, but never really like taking action because I felt like I was kind of holding myself back because of the environment I was in, and like kind of using other things like that I had where I was before as like an excuse to not like go like work harder on the business, I guess. But I was also kind of waiting for this, like, I guess you could say like charging up and like storing all that for like this time to really go hard. So now I kind of have to act on that and kind of back up my plan. But who knows? Maybe I was making excuses for myself or self-sabotaging, but I think now is the point where like I'm really ready to go full force. And we kind of came from two different like mental frames, but those were both the major reasons why we knew we had to move in together, to challenge ourselves and like live a pretty expensive life compared to what both of us are used to ever before. Because that's like throwing ourselves into the fire. Like challenges is like what makes you grow the most, essentially.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like the next year, by the end of this year, we'll definitely have a more clear vision of like what we want to do long term.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely moved ourselves into a nicer place than like we probably like should have if we were being like, conservative, but we did that on purpose, because like you said, I mean, it's all about the environment. I think what you said about, kind of waiting to like attack until this point probably isn't the best thing. And I was doing that as well. I was blaming definitely a lot on my environment. Not to say that's wrong, because environment has a lot to do with how you perform. I mean, my environment wasn't conducive. Your wasn't very conducive to success. And now being in this place where we're together, that's what we're talking about. That's the whole point. Now we're in a place where it's just that much easier. So I think that's just definitely a note to take, that your environment really matters. And kind of maybe take a look at your life and think about where you could improve your environment, because you can't always just get up and move. I mean, it took a long time for us to finally be able to come together and get a place together. So it's not always, get up and move somewhere else, but maybe it's, involve a positive ear here and there in your life, whether that's through someone you care about, a podcast, something like that, because environment definitely matters.
I think it's totally okay to have like excuses for why you're not doing well, or like you can blame your circumstances like as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you have to actively be working to like make those excuses go away. So like if you can remove yourself from every possible excuse, like, oh, my environment's not conducive. Okay, change your environment as much as you can, because now being in this position that we're in pretty much the most ideal position of anyone our age to do what we want to do. Yeah. So like we have very little, if any, major excuses to not be where we want to be in the next like whatever time frame. So like it's time to dial in, and like it's literally the perfect environment. So that's the whole point of us moving here. We weren't at a great place, but throwing ourselves into this fire literally eliminates so many excuses that I could make before. But now I'm sitting in this apartment and I'm like, I'm not working. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, bro, what am I doing? Like, this is what we've waited for. This is what I've like worked. This is what I've worked for. This is what we've done all this work and all this planning, spent all this money to like be in this position, and to not take action on it is like insane. So like you can only blame yourself if you remove all your excuses. So, which you don't want to look at it in a negative frame, but like you're doing it all for yourself to succeed. Like you're giving yourself the best possible chance to succeed and not self-sabotage. So I feel like we're growing as much as we can, learning as much as we can, but it's time to take action rather than just consume. It's kind of time to produce, really.
Definitely. Do you want to maybe, I mean, you don't got to go through all of it, but maybe hit like a few key daily things, when you're talking about action, like what are those daily actions you're trying to take to improve your life that maybe you weren't doing before?
And are you talking about just since like we've moved into here, or like things I've been planning to do from like my old life compared to what I'm doing now in like the new period of life?
I mean, just all the above. Just like what are you doing? What are your daily actions that you're talking about, that are going to help you? Like, I mean, it could be like morning routine things. It could be, certain metrics you're trying to hit.
I mean, one thing that I've already talked about a little, I think is like massive, and I still need to improve a lot on it, is input goals, like setting input-based goals. Whereas before, and even now sometimes, like long-term goals are okay, like to say like make 10K in a month or make 20K in a month or something like that. That's a good longer-term goal. But a better short-term goal, especially for someone like myself, is what I found, is saying like call 5 people a day, or build a lead list and say like add 20 leads a day or whatever. Input-based goals. I want to start reading more, obviously. Like I have that goal up there, so I'm going to be reading 10 pages a day to start, and then more. I know
he was pointing at our whiteboard.
Yeah,
we have behind the camera set up under the TV. It's just laying there, but it's got all of our goals for the rest of July, August, content and schedule, different stuff.
Yeah, I'll just read my input-based goals, because that's what I tried to do with these. I literally tried to make them all input-based goals.
Yeah.
So for the July goals, which literally, I mean, there's only 3 days left in July, but I'm going to pretty much roll them all over to August, is 5 calls a day. That's for my digital marketing business, for new leads. Schedule 2 content shoots, which we literally already did as of today. Sir. Or I already did, I guess, but you're going to help me with those. So I literally already achieved that goal, I guess, in the past like 3 or 4 days. And then sign 1 new client. So hopefully I can do that in the next few days. That might be a little bit tough because I already have those leads, like, and that's going to happen later this week after the month is already over. Yeah. So I might not achieve that signing a new client, but who knows? That'll also roll over in August, and it will be multiple clients that I'm trying to sign, not just one. Read 10 pages a day. Build an August content plan for Berg's Training, which is my fitness account. So I'm gonna start doing some content on that. You kind of pushed me to just do that and stop like wasting the opportunity with that account, with the platform that I've like built over the years, essentially. And especially like with the Gorilla sponsorship, like really just taking advantage of that, which I'm in a very fortunate position to like have that.
Definitely.
And then film one or more podcasts per week. So that's what we're doing right now. So those are some like simple input goals, but also just like setting a routine and kind of sticking to it. Like I'm waking up earlier. Like no matter what, I'm working out first thing in the morning. Like I'm chugging water first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Staying on top of like the small things. It doesn't always have to be like super massive goals. Like if you want to say like
start small.
Yeah, if you just want to say like eat meal at X time every single day, like something that is beneficial for you, and it doesn't even have to be difficult. Like literally just something you set and you stick to and you just check off the box.
Yeah. Have you speaking of checking the boxes, have you read 10 pages a day?
Not today, but
Yesterday?
I will. Maybe. Maybe not. I've read. But yeah, no, I need to be better about the reading. That's one I definitely need to be better about.
Yeah.
But I have a really good book right now that I'm actually about to start.
Yeah.
But I think
dude, because I read a lot like before. I've read a lot of books, and I love reading about the dial, stuff about the dial. But I stopped, for the past like 6 months probably, when things had just been hard. But started back up, when we moved in here a few days ago, started reading again. And I've already been like, dude, wow. Like, bro, like books are where I learn like most of my information. Like they're so valuable. And like I kind of just had like a whoa moment, like thinking about how I haven't been consuming or learning much information over the past half year. And it's kind of like sad to think about, but just made me realize how powerful reading is and how I really got to, hit that metric every day, read every day.
Yeah, one thing also that I think is important about like books, or like just anything that a creator or a successful person does that's not like YouTube or like short form content or like anything social media related, because that's like super quick. Like that's just a thought come into their head, they make a quick piece of content or they put out like a tweet or something about it, which could be valuable. But when someone sits down to make something like a book and like write that takes months, sometimes even years of preparation. So they're really putting way more of their mental energy, and they're trying to make it as valuable as possible to get like good ratings, obviously, because it's one, a financial incentive, and two, that's like actually leaving a legacy, where I feel like social media, they might not take it as seriously. So I feel like that's why the book I'm about to read by William Brown is going to be insane.
I think we also consume it differently, which isn't something I've thought of before until now. Because like when you go on Instagram or something, there's thousands of creators, or maybe you follow a few hundred, they're all posting stuff. It's all about different topics. Versus when you sit down, like you were saying, you're in that space, in the energy to read about this one thing, this one book. Yeah. And there's also no visual representation when you're reading. I feel like that invokes more creativity as well. And just, more space for creativity.
I'm sure we'll literally get so many ideas over the next month from literally just reading good books, like for content specifically. But yeah, do you think it's a good point to wrap up here for this first episode?
Yeah, I think so. It was a good timing. Like we said, we want to keep it shorter for sure. And we're right at about 30 minutes now. So
yeah, we're trying to keep these pretty casual. We'll do certain ones about specific topics, obviously, but we might just title each podcast based on what we talk about rather than trying to plan to do something. But hopefully once we build up a decent core audience of maybe like a few hundred people, or maybe even if it's just 50 people that are super active on like our Instagram page, we can get good audience questions, because we did that once before and it was pretty good, but we didn't have a super wide variety of questions to choose from. So that's something I definitely want to do, because I feel like interacting with the community and really like building and learning, because we would be able to learn stuff from you guys can learn stuff from us, that would just help like immensely. I think it would be really valuable content to put out to actually answer people's questions, not because we're experts on anything, but because of our experiences being the same age as probably the most people that will watch our content.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. Well, you want to sign it off?
All I got to say, we're back. Y'all heard it here first.
Stay dialed in. We'll see you in the next one.